Hello everyone, and welcome to the casting desk for the very first game of LCK Challengers in 2023. My name is Finland, I'm here together with Louis, and we'll be bringing you DRX Challengers against Nongshim Esports Academy. You ready?
Yep, thanks for having me. It's quite easy to say this is going to be a pretty explosive start. I mean, we've got DRX, which is kind of like the established team in the previous like LCK splits. They won the spring playoffs in 2022, but they haven't played since August. They haven't been competing. So getting back into this, are they going to be rusty? We don't know. We have the Nongshim, which is a fresh team, quite easy to say, and kind of the underdogs in this match. So, what do you think are going to be the expected results of this game?
Yeah, it's hard to say, of course, new meta coming in Season 13. And as we have a look at the draft, Nongshim chose blue side, banning away Jace, Ashe, Heimerdinger, and DRX banning away the Lucian, the Karma, and the Varus. Looks like both teams are trying to get rid of the hard pushing bot lanes. And we'll see what Nongshim use their B1 for. OPs like Cassante, Yuumi still open. Of course, there's also the reworked what's Rod of Ages, which champions really like to use. There's the Cassante. What's your thoughts on that?
The Cassante is a pretty strong pick. I would say for lane, it shows that they're kind of going with a dominating but safe top lane, which is nice to see, followed by a Maokai pick. Not sure if that could be top jungler support, but it's a very nice flex to see.
Jungle. We're seeing a lot of Maokai jungle pop up with the phase rush, which is a decent AP threat as well. Combined with the Zeri. I'd like to see Nongshim pick away the Yuumi here to get rid of that very strong bot lane combo. Maybe combine the Yuumi with the Sivir is a good idea. Get the AD damage threat for late game, and there is the Yuumi. What would you like to see the Zeri combined with now?
Lulu. Well, we have it combined straight away with Lulu, which is very good. I'm afraid it's not going to be good enough into the Sivir and Yuumi, though. I feel like the movement speed that they provide is just going to be too much for Zeri to catch up with. And being quite a close-ranged ADC, I don't think she's going to be able to deal with the kite that Sivir is going to be able to do in lane. But we'll have to see. I think Pleater, being kind of the most renowned player in the DRX Academy, he's got like a 5.8 KDA, which is absolutely insane. I think them trying to play it safe in the bot lane and DRX banning out all the poke and harassment early was a really good choice. But I don't know how their best player is going to be able to get fed this game, quite simply.
Yeah, fair enough. I think I prefer the Sivir Yuumi over the Zeri Lulu. Of course, both very strong late game AD threats. As you see, the Sejuani, Wukong, Ryze, and Gnar banned away. DRX get to pick, I'd say, probably their top laner here since Cassante has already been locked in. What would you like to see into this Cassante?
Well, we see the Renekton here, but I don't think that's, in my opinion, that would have been my choice. I think something maybe a bit more passive, a bit more utility. For something maybe like Sejuani or Ornn would have been a good pick. Renekton's alright here, but I don't think since he got nerfed with his W stun, I don't think he's been a good team fight pick for years, but we're going to have to see how it plays out here.
Yeah, let's see how Clear uses that matchup. Apparently he thinks it's a good lane, but we'll never know. We'll see how it goes. We see the Syndra locked in for Call Me. I wonder if he'll build Rod of Ages on Syndra. I wouldn't say it's the best on her. Combined with the Lee Sin for some early game prowess. What would you like to see Piero pick here for the mid lane?
For the mid lane, I think definitely an AP carry of some sort. Maybe we're looking at Azir. Yep.
Very strong
pick before I could say it. That will set up great utility for the Zeri. I think Zeri can also get the expanded W from the Azir wall as well, which would be really nice to see in some team fights. And it's also great with Maokai out. They have all the setup they need for DRX. I think DRX have won this comp.
Yeah, I think there are solid drafts from both sides. Of course, what we've seen from previous LCK challengers is that draft does not necessarily matter, and it's more about execution. Um, so we'll see how both these teams play this game out. In terms of early game, who are you expecting to make the plays?
So on the play side, I think it'll be a pretty contested top lane, so that'll be something to look out for. But we have the Lee Sin and Syndra. So I think the jungle skirmishes are going to be Nongshim favored for the start of the game. But I think as it scales into the mid game with these team fights, DRX are going to start getting more prio for the objectives.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Very scaling bot lanes as well as mid lanes. The Lee Sin, of course, trying to get some stuff done early game. And I'm really interested to see how this top lane matchup goes. The Renekton picked into the K'Sante. Apparently, Clear thinks this is a good matchup for the Renekton. K'Sante is something we haven't seen a lot of in pro play since he only just got released last season. And this is the first season we actually get to see him in pro play. So I'm very, very curious to see how he does. In terms of scaling, who would you give the edge in very, very late game?
Well, I mean, we do have clear carries for late game on both sides. I mean, the Sivir with the Yumi and the K'Sante are all very good picks late game, but I don't think the Lee Sin and Syndra is going to be able to hold the utility that they need to carry. Whereas the Azir, the Zeri, especially the Maokai with his AP scaling, um, and build paths he's got this season, I think it is going to be very DRX favored again.
Right. Of course, we did see
So
the Syndra mini rework where her scaling did get buffed a lot with her new passive. Do you think that'll have any impact?
I think it will, but Plita being there.
They're walking in. Plita does not know that she does. Okay, there we go. Ghost popped. Nothing else will happen. And sorry for interrupting you. Continue your point.
No, that is perfectly fine. Jiwoo is a great AD carry. I don't know if it's going to be able to deal with the Plita though. Plita has had a presence in previous splits, being an AD carry with a 5.8 KDA. I reckon if Jiwoo's able to snowball with the Lee Sin, maybe possibly Syndra ganks, it will be a great position for the bot lane, but I just don't think they're going to be able to outscale in later team fights.
Yeah, very fair, very fair. As we get this game underway, we see both bot laners starting with the Cole, which of course indicates this lane is going to be really boring, just farming, scaling up to late. Yumi and Lulu slowly poking each other out, getting those Spell Thieves stacks. In the mid lane, Corrupting Potion against the Doran's Ring on Azir. Corrupting Potion, not something we've seen a lot. Something you like, or?
I mean, all the potions got nerfed just before the new season in the, I think it was just at the end of last season. So no one's really been taking them. I think it was like 50 HP nerfs on the normal pots, and corrupting pot was 25 per pop, which I think has changed a lot of lane states. I think for Syndra though, she really wants to be explosive in lane, really pressure Azir off before any skirmishes happen for the 2v2s with Lee Sin. I think this is a good move by them.
Right. And of course, in the jungle, we have the new jungle pets, which got added in preseason. We see Lee Sin taking the green and Maokai taking the blue one. No red one in this game. Personally, I think the green one is the strongest right now. Sponge choosing to go for the blue one, which of course gives him movement speed when taking camps and going in and outside of bushes, which combines well with the phase rush. Sounder going for the green one, which gives him a short shield, a small shield, and some tenacity, which should make him a bit tankier while going for skirmishes and team fights in the later stage of the game. Both junglers pathing towards bot side. Maybe not something we should have expected.
Well, Lee Sin wants to get as much pressure bot as possible. I think playing for the K'Sante here, it would be a good idea, but the fact is, all the god really needs to be getting into this ADC. And since it's both very passive lanes, I think even though there isn't much setup, it's still possible to play here if Lee Sin plays correctly.
Right. We see both junglers full clearing. Sponge gets the crab. And they're both basing, getting back onto the map. Of course, another great thing about the Maokai is his saplings are pretty much infinite wards, right? You just throw a sapling in a bush, and it gives you vision until it expires. As well, as I mentioned before, the phase rush gives you a lot of mobility. We see Mihiel slowly pushing out, Clear going for a bit of trade. I'd like to see the Maokai look for a play top maybe now with the wave pushing into them.
I think so, yeah. Getting this Renekton to snowball is really important here before he starts falling off, and Renekton will fall off fast in this game, especially with the zoning that is going to be apparent with Syndra being able to one-shot, especially if Renekton goes into a more Prowler's build here. I think with the Conqueror rune, we're going to see a Gore Drinker at play, but we'll have to see.
Right. Yeah, it looks like Clear's just reset the wave, pushed into the K'Sante, and there's not much going on in this early game, which, to be honest, is not surprising since both teams have drafted really strong late game.
Yeah, it's quite apparent to see that right now. I think Lee Sin does need to start making plays though, otherwise he is definitely going to fall off to Maokai zoning in later team fights, especially with the bush control that Maokai gives. I think it's just such a strong jungle pick now, and props to DRX kind of finding this out for the start of the split.
Yeah, it looks like Sounder is looking for something in the mid lane maybe. He walks up, setup does not know. Kwame hits the EQ. The Q flashes away from the Q. Very well played by the Azir, and will get out safely. As well as getting Syndra's ult for possible next time in the skirmish. We see both top laners taking over to level 6. Ponge might find Sounder here. And nothing happens. Both junglers walk away.
Yeah, we're looking at
top lane.
Decent
really
trade here. Oh. We're looking at a decent trade here for Maokai.
He might get a knock-up. Hits the knock-up, hits the auto attack, pushes him back with the W. Ult's under tower, Clear needs to flash away. Mihiel pops the ult as well. Dominus procced as well. Another Q lands. Will he get the knock-up? Will the Q be enough? It will not. The Q from the Renekton will also not be enough. And K'Sante takes the kill in the first blood in a very bloody top lane.
This is really bad for DRX's top lane right now. K'Sante having that lead to build armor and stack it. There we see the Bramble Vest is going to be so hard for Renekton to get healthy trades from here on out. I think next time K'Sante has ult, there's just so much pressure for Renekton to step up. So it's looking quite bad for DRX here in the top lane.
Especially because DRX counterpicked the Renekton into the K'Sante, and Clear just not respecting the amount of damage that can come out. Here we go, we see the replay. As he hits the first knock-up, he pushes him back with the W and the ult. Renekton flashes away, pops the Dominus, but is not enough. K'Sante just sprints after him with the Ghost, hits another Q. Knock-up lands, and the Q from Renekton is not enough to heal back. It was pretty close, to be fair, but looks like Mihiel had it in the bag all the time.
It was a very close fight, but the thing about Renekton is once his full kit is popped off, he is quite useless in extended trades. So the fact that K'Sante was just able to have that sticking power, keeping him near his turret, was just what kind of changed that fight.
Yeah, I agree. We see Herald spawning in 20 seconds. Also the Camptech Drake alive. I expect to see both teams going for Herald, which is of course quite a strong early objective. Who would you favor in the top side 3v3?
Top side 3v3, I think for now, we're gonna keep it with, well, people are starting to get 6s to be fair, and with the Azir ult, the Maokai ult, there's so much zoning that could be done here, but since the Yuumi is roamed up, I think Lee Sin is in a very good spot to skirmish.
In the bot lane. Looks like...
But we're seeing the Zeri roam as well. They are simply outnumbered here.
Sound is still hanging around. Will he go for the fight? The Sponge W's in, knocks him back. The Maokai ult combined with the CC. The Yumi's all on her own. And that's an easy fight for DRX. They take the fight and the Herald. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Mihiel's still fighting Clear, but he has to run away, you think, since the Lulu is here for backup. And that's very well played by DRX. I'm not sure what Soundo was doing there, trying to contest 4v5.
Yeah, it was definitely a strange play. I think another strange play was Jiwoo trying to match this roam. We could see or the Jiwoo shoving in the lane and then leaving, trying to meet the roam. But there could have been at least two plates here, just easily stolen to compensate for the loss of Herald.
Right, and as we look at the gold, Plita is now 900 gold ahead of Jiru. 2 kills on the Zeri together with this Lulu is a very, very promising start for DRX. And now we see if they can translate this as C-Tap uses the ult under the tower. Colmy can just walk away.
Yeah, very aggressive plays we're seeing with DRX, and they do have the zoning control that I was predicting. Maokai with his E to zone off bushes and unwarded areas, and just the general presence of Azir as well to follow up the Maokai ult is very difficult for the Lee Sin to try and get into these objectives, despite being able to just steal Drake here.
Yeah, he just stakes it away. Nongshim must have known that Plita was base, so it was a free Drake to take. I think Nongshim would be very happy with that, seeing as souls have been very powerful in the previous season, as well as in season 13. We see a Hextech Drake coming up next. You expect Nongshim to contest that too, to sprint towards that soul point to get another pressure point on the map. We see Sponge and Piero walking in together, clearing some vision, as we are hitting almost hitting some item break points. Azir going for the Ludens, while Syndra going for the I just mentioned it. What's the item called?
It looks like they're going for the new Rod of Ages.
Rod of Ages. That's it. I'm not sure I like it on Syndra. What are your thoughts?
I think Ludens is the angle here. I don't think Syndra really has the time to scale that Rod of Ages up. I think going for early burst and just snowballing her lead would be a much wiser strategy here, especially with how the game's going.
Right.
But Rod of Ages is always good for late game. It's always good for countering just being bursted out, especially, which is something we could see with Renekton and Maokai, champs like that who are just going to
finds
stick
Piero
on
in
to...
the river. Will he extend? He goes in. Piero still has flash. Does not have flash. He uses the ult, kicks into the Jiwo, and it's a free kill for Nongshim. What's he doing in the river like that? He just gives over a free kill to the Lee Sin. As Colmy might be stepping up a bit far, but just ease the Sponge away and they're all fine. Sounda and HH are combining very well, using this early game Lee Sin power with the strength of the Yuumi to make plays around the map, which is good to see as we have a very even game with gold lead, only 300 gold difference in favor of the DRX.
I mean, Jiwoo is playing a great safe game here. Just staying in lane, farming, scaling, everything an ADC should be doing in like the meta as it is right now. Just get into that Kraken and then Shadow Reavers is just going to be great. That being said, Zeri is 2-0, so there still is a lead in the bot lane, but I think it's a great idea for Yuumi to just roam with the jungler, get as much utility as possible from the support, just to be getting these picks, because that is what they need right now. They need to be snowballing. Unlike what is happening with DRX right now as they pop Rift mid.
Yeah, get some gold into the Azir, which of course is another very strong AP carry in the late game. We see first items coming in from both the ADCs, everything that we've been expecting. The Kraken for the Sivir is very normal, and the shield bow for the Zeri to give her some more safety. Like you mentioned before, the Renekton going for the Gore Drinker, which I think that's fine, especially combining with the Conqueror. Going into the two melees of Cassante and Lee Sin, they should get quite a lot of healing from that in team fights.
I think it's a good shout. Whilst Gold Drinker hasn't really been its best right now, it's good into champs like Cassante. You need the sustain. It's great for team fighting and team play in general. So yeah, I think it's a solid pick. Despite I think the problem here is Renekton itself in the team comp.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Sounda finds Sponge. Sponge W's in. Might be a bit out of position here as Sounda gets, as the Sponge gets Lulu ulted. Colmy dives in. The Azir ult has been popped. And it looks like Nongshim is winning this fight, just taking the Maokai and running away.
Yeah, again, we need to be playing for the scaling with DRX. Lee Sin with the Yumi is an absolute powerhouse in early game.
Yeah,
And here we're
they've been
seeing
showing that as well.
lane.
Meanwhile, the top lane, Clear flashes in but does not manage to kill Michiel, who lives on a slither of health. This is what you want to see from Renekton.
Tank duelist, by the way. Cassante is an absolute powerhouse, and for Renekton to not be able to burst that is an absolute shame for DRX.
Of course, Cassante did not pop the ultimate yet, so he did have all the tanky stats. But this is what we like to see from Renekton. Prowess in lane, early game power, and pushing your laner out. Cassante does just TP back, and Michiel's absolutely fine. As we have a look at the replay, Sounda Q's in on Sponge, but he W's frozen backwards, combines it with the Maokai ult. The Lulu ult on Sponge, but he dives too deep. It's not enough. Look at the damage Jiwoo is dealing in this fight. C-Tab, kind of a useless ultimate since Komi can just walk away. And the Yumi saves Sounda from dying, which makes it a 1-0 to Nongshim, who combined his tempo into getting this Herald, which should open up the mid lane tower, I hope.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see how DRX popped the Herald. I thought they would conserve it more, maybe to go for a side lane, especially top now that it is nearly open to be popped by a Herald. Getting tower to half HP is pretty much enough for a Herald to just instantly burst the turret.
Yeah,
and popping it so early.
It in a mid lane. So Nongshim just looking to open up the map, get that mid lane tower, as well as combine the pressure from the Herald into the second Drake. Really good play from Nongshim macro-wise, and I really like what Sounda's doing here. Jiwoo just pushing out the wave, making sure Herald crashes. Will DRX try and contest this Drake? C-Tab's looking to walk in, has the Streamer Shuffle ready, and there's a lot of poke. Sounda knocks away the Sponge, and the flash away from Komi should mean the end of this fight, as the Yumi lets them walk away. Lee Sin tanks the Maokai ult, but they're going on the Syndra, who looks like she might die. No, it's the Maokai who dies, thanks to a very nice Syndra ultimate and the combined force of Nongshim's Sivir, Yumi, as well as the Lee Sin early game.
What an amazing turn we're seeing here, by the way. I think if Maokai was able to pop that ult earlier, maybe it would have changed the result of that Drake fight. Lee Sin being able to kick Maokai away and just get a free smite. But it was unfortunately too late for Maokai to pop it, and it was a great turn from Nongshim to be able to get the pick off him for overextending.
Yeah, amazing flash by Komi to get away from the Streamer Shuffle, as Pleater gets exhausted, and Komi just almost looks like he gets away, and the Sivir W... Oh, look, the Maokai ult just clips him. But Sponge is just out of position. Michiel tries to chase, but will not get anything else. And this was a fight DRX forced and lost.
It is very interesting to see it, because they should be having this team fight potential, but I don't think it's quite coordinated enough. I mean, Sponge with the late ults, we're not seeing Sela being able to follow up with these ults with Azir ult as he was splitting top. And we don't... Pleater hasn't really been able to engage properly as Zeri. So... yeah, maybe we're just needing to see them scale up a little more, maybe build up the items, but right now it's a little messy for DRX.
Yeah, to me it looks like the Maokai gets caught out of position a lot, which lets the Sivir free hit into, of course, the damage from the Syndra ult with, was it 4 or 5 orbs stacked. Just absolutely one-shots him. Of course, with the Demonic Embrace, is not the most tanky Maokai, not the most tanky tree yet. And as you mentioned, Pleater and Piero just not managing to get the damage out, because they're all fighting forward instead of letting the Lee Sin and the Cassante fight into them, which is what I think both teams want to happen in team fights.
You're absolutely right, yeah.
Yeah, 18 minutes into the game, we see a 300 gold lead for Nongshim. Of course, the two Drakes stacking up. C-Tap gets poked out, but nothing more will happen. Everyone's hovering around the top side, except for the top laners. I don't expect anything to happen here. How would you like DRX to approach the next fight?
Prep time. That's literally all they need. They just need the prep time to be able to zone Lee Sin off, get the vision. Yumi will be able to heal up everything the saplings do, which is unfortunate for DRX. But I still think getting the prep time, Azir being ready for the Drake, and full vision control is something DRX need. They need NS to go into them. And I think if they are able to get these timings right and get the team coordinated, it is such a draft diff for DRX.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's all about setting up the vision, like you said, getting people to walk into you because that's when both Zeri and Azir absolutely shine. And I expect we'll see people set up around this Baron or the next Cloud Dragon, which will of course give the Cloud Soul, which will give movement speed to whoever gets it. Sponge might look to go in the mid lane here. He runs in, but will not engage. Sounda's around as well, but Plita just glides over the wall very graciously.
Yeah, it's starting to look very scary for DRX now, as can't say it. Mahil is starting to get the 2-0 against Renekton. I don't see Renekton be able to come back into the game. Gonna have to very much rely on split pushing correctly and getting good team prio whilst playing from behind. Whilst he is up on CS, the bounty says it all. He is not going to be able to win a 1v1 anytime soon into Cassante.
Yeah, this is a very, very strong Sante, and especially when he pops that ultimate, all of his stats go into AV, and he's going to hit like an absolute truck. Sounder might be walking into Sponge here, but he seems to be just fine. I like what DRX is doing here, setting up for Drake, walking in, getting some deep vision. Although Pierre might be called out, the Sinra-E lands. Pierre has to flash, use the ultimate as well, but will die to the final chapter. Sounder kicks back Plita. What a beautiful play as Mahil and Sponge are fighting. The ultimate not yet popped by Cassante. There it is. Sponge will get absolutely one shot. And it looks like Nongshim will be going towards the Baron.
Amazing pick from Colby there, just to snowball that team fight out of control. It was one after another. They're just falling like dominoes here. I don't think DRX are going to be able to recover from that. Simply as Nongshim just easily get this Baron without contestation.
Yeah, free Baron for Nongshim. DRX do get the pity point for getting the Cloud Dragon, but it will not matter too much right now. Nongshim very happy. As you see, call me TPing bot to save that tower as well. You might try and go for a steal, but it's too little too late. And as we have a look at the replay, Piero just gets called out. Sinra-E lands, Yumi combo, and then Sinra ult just about enough to shut him down. Plita gets kicked back. Well played by Sounder. As we see the Maokai being stopped by the Cassante. Renekton just late to the fight. Azir as well. The Cassante ult absolutely one-shots the tree. Well played by Nongshim, but you know, a bit sad to see how DRX are getting called out.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes without to say the Cloud Soul be affecting the map, making Syndra able to roam that fast. The Sivir and Yumi movement speed that has given them the presence to be able to follow up everyone one by one. It's really good for this Lee Sin and Syndra to be able to just pick people off like dominoes. And it is really showing here as Cassante gets to take bot tower without contestation.
Yeah, let's see what Nongshim managed to do with this Baron Nashor. Outer turret still up in top lane and bot lane, but no one currently pushing in the top lane. Jiru hitting on that tier 2. Clear trying to defend, but might not be too successful as there's 4 people of Nongshim running down this bot lane. I just want DRX to wait it out, wait till Baron's gone, and try and fight for this Cloud Drake in 3 minutes if they feel strong enough to do so. Nihil absolutely stomps his Renekton in side lane. Look at his items. He might actually look to go for the Azir, who sliding glides away and is absolutely fine. Only 1 tower so far from this Baron. Is that what you were expecting?
Well, yeah, it is playing very slow, but that is kind of with the nature of it. Whilst they might be fed, there's always a way DRX can come back here with their team fight potential. And as long as they're able to protect the Zeri and the Azir, the peel is immense. Like, it is kind of going to be an impenetrable, like, Fort Knox trying to get through these guys in a tower dive. So, Nongshim really do need to be careful here, despite having their lead. They need to play for those picks, and that will just have to be slowly dragging out the tree into his jungle and hopefully cutting down the
Yeah, it looks like
Maokai here.
DRX will try to defend this top tower as the knock-up lands right into the Syndra-E, but the Q misses. It's a bit of an unlucky combination. And DRX might just have to give this up. Let's see what Sponge... He walks up, smites the cannon, and the tower will not die just yet. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It's hard for DRX, but as long as they don't get picked out, it should be very much doable. They might look for a fight here as Jiwoo stepping up to hit the tower. We see that Azir coming up now. Xante still going down the mid lane. And the Syndra lands, which is a lot of damage. As we see, the Syndra gets a Rod of Ages fully stacked as well. 2 levels up on the Azir already. This Syndra is becoming really scary.
I am really surprised by this Rod of Ages and how well it's working.
Might get picked out here, and yes, like you were saying, the tree gets picked out in the jungle.
The tree has been cut down once again. Unfortunately, Sponge has just been caught out for the 4th time now, which is really unfortunate for DRX.
Yeah, it's really bad because this is how they've been losing all their fights. Looks like Nongshim just go back to base, reset, buy their items. They're going to be really, really strong for this next fight. And we might even see a 3rd item come in for both the Zarya and the Syndra. Not yet. The Zarya might just buy her. Yeah, there it is. The Navori Quick Blades. Azir level 14. Quite far down. Yuumi also a bit stronger than the Lulu right now. This is going to be really hard for DRX to execute. I really don't see how they win fights.
Well, yeah, there is just that snowball that Nongshim, as I said, are starting to execute. Kasante's 2-0, Lee Sin's 3-1, Syndra 3-0, and Sivir has been scaling passively. Now with a 20 CS farm lead over the Zeri, it is snowballing out of control. And whilst they didn't have the comp, they were able to execute the champions correctly, which has just made this so scary for DRX now, as Lee Sin can now just enter freely into most team fights.
Yeah, we saw the combination of Kasante and Yuumi just there a minute ago, which of course is extremely scary as well. Nongshim controlled the entire bot side of the map, Dragon coming up in 15 seconds. Looks like they just want this mid tower for now, as DRX is kind of out of position with the Azir in top side and Maokai roaming in the jungle. But Nongshim will not be able to get the tower in mid lane, but they will try again in the bot lane. And Sunda goes in, but very nice W out. As they get this tower, Yuumi getting a bit low from tanking it. The inhibitor tower dies, and I expect him to back away after this and go towards the Drake.
They should be getting this inhib and going for the Drake. Yeah, after this they are 1 point away from Soul, which is going to be so big for them. The movement speed they'll be getting from their ultimate is just going to enhance everything on top of the Sivir and Yuumi movement speed buffs.
Yeah, very scary stuff. As we see, getting the top tower. This Azir is getting stronger and stronger, but will it be enough to stop the damage? The absolute burst from the Syndra and the Lee Sin.
It is a great question, as everything relies here really on Maokai being able to give his R, and Azir being able to follow up and sweep the Syndra, the Sivir, and mainly those 2 carries into the rest of the team. I don't think they have the damage to be outbursted by Syndra though. If Syndra gets swept in, all I think is going to happen is Syndra presses R and there's the main carries gone.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very telling for DRX what they do for the rest of the game.
Yeah, Sponge does get the Radiant Virtue here, which will of course make him a lot tankier when popping that ultimate. But will it be enough to stop the damage? I'm afraid not. He's only level 12. As we expect Nongshim to go for the Baron sometime soon. See 2 super minion waves running down the bot lane. Nongshim slowly taking over the top side of the map. And I'm not sure that there's much DRX can do, to be honest. Yeah, and here we go. Nongshim starting off the Baron, Michiel tanking, Call Me doing a lot of damage. Maybe Sponge can steal? Ooh, that's
Sponge
a
has the
flash
possibility,
away.
but there goes the flash. So where is Sponge going to be
Oh,
able
the
to
flash
get this
Sundo
Baron
goes in.
still? I don't know.
Spines get knocked up again, kicked over the wall. This should be an absolute one-shot. And will DRX still look to fight? Zeri hits a beautiful W over the wall. Mahil goes in, knocks the Renekton back. Wow, he's tanking so much in this fight while dealing a lot of damage. The Sunda goes in. DRX are getting absolutely slaughtered. And surely they'll end here. Unless the Zeri pops off and the Yumi Q will finish it off. And I expect Nongshim to go down bot and end the game here.
The triple Syndra stun was massive. Being able to just secure
Look
three
at that
stuns
damage
whilst the
from the
team fight
Sivir.
was going on is disgusting.
Wow.
And Sivir's damage as well. It's kind of been the sleeper this game, but slowly popping off in these team fights as she's been able to scale throughout the game.
Yeah. DRX going to try and stop the push down mid, but I don't think Sponge and PR will be able to stop them. Nongshim hitting the Nexus, and a very strong showing from this very new roster in our very first game of the LCK Challengers.
What an absolute performance by Nongshim. Completely not predicted by me, but they have absolutely just blown it out of the park against DRX for the first game.
Yeah.
DRX obviously showing they're rusty since August. Not really showing their best here today. But that isn't to say they can't win the next game.
Yeah, of course, this is a best of 3 series, so maybe DRX will be able to come back. Reverse sweep. Game 2 between Nongshim and DRX. We saw a convincing win by Nongshim in game 1. But hopefully DRX managed to get back into the series and take this game.
Absolutely. Going into this draft, we see a Nongshim ban on Jace, so it definitely seems like they're trying to ward out a top side domination. Although what we saw with the K'Sante pick last game,
Yeah.
I'm interested in their confidence about how they feel about top.
Yeah,
The K'Sante just level.
DRX chose red side for this game. As you see, if this is the Varus, yeah, the exact same bans as last game, and I expected to see the K'Sante here again, right? Yeah.
Potentially, yep. K'Sante.
Locked in. There it is. I'm surprised DRX chose red side. I imagine they have a good answer into the K'Sante then, as Zeri gets locked in once again.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, we're seeing the Sejuani now. Very interesting. So they're going for more of a pick style. It can be flexed top or jungle. It's a very nice flex, always on the R2, R1, and B1 of games.
Yeah. You're quite a Sejuani connoisseur yourself. How is the matchup into K'Sante?
The matchup into K'Sante is alright, actually. Her burst is very generous, so if K'Sante ults, then there is always a chance she can basically one-shot him. But it's very difficult. But I think, at a pro level like this, it's always possible.
Yeah.
And we're seeing the Zeri Lulu again
Exact
into
same
the
bot
Sivir
lanes.
Yumi. It's very interesting.
I'm not sure I like this. I would have liked DRX to pick the Yumi instead of Sejuani here. Get the Zeri Yumi because it's extremely strong bot lane, get that locked in. But they're happy to run it back. Syndra banned, Ryze banned. We might just see the same mid laners as last game. Although Syndra got banned. So Azir might be high prio again.
It could possibly, but I mean, we really need to evaluate here. What was the thing that went wrong for DRX last game? Because their comp, from an outside perspective, was great. They had the setup, the team fight, the late game, but they just got caught out too many times into the Syndra and Lee Sin, which is kind of what lost them the snowball potential that they could have got. So, DRX, could they win with this comp still? Absolutely. Is it really going to fit them into what Nongshim has played? We'll have to see with the Gnar pick.
Yeah, we were talking about that during the break. The Gnar seems like a good answer to the K'Sante. We see the Fiora also banned out, which is a scary matchup for the K'Sante. And they're leaving last pick to set up again. Udyr hovered. I'd be very surprised to see that one locked in. Hecarim also potentially possibility. As it looks like the Wukong is going to be the choice for Nongshim. What will they combine that with in the mid lane? I think they'll look to just lock the Azir in.
Yeah, it has to be something very AP heavy. like Talia, I guess. Very interesting. I haven't seen
I
Talia
don't
being
I don't
picked
think Talia's
in.
good, to be fair. I would like to see they're locked in, combined with the Yumi. Really solid late game scaling. Should be safe enough. Yeah, there it is. I like this. I think Nongshim's got a
Yeah.
really solid draft here.
Especially with the Yumi, again, just being able to. There's so many carries here. In fact, every one of these players Yumi can hop onto has carry potential, which is very interesting from Nongshim, showing that
Kassadin.
all players have confidence, but is Castin going to be a champ they can confidently play into once he gets 16?
Wow. Yeah, of course. With the new Roll of Ages, Kassadin's been really showing up in solo queue as well as in pro play. I'm not sure I like it this game. I think he's just gonna get shoved in by the Azir, and then if he does hit 16, which of course is his biggest power spike, doesn't he just get CC'd by the Wukong Kasante and just die?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, the Sivir Shield and the Cassante tankiness is just going to be very difficult for Castin to pop off here. But it does synergize well with Sejuani. He gives the auto attack passive, so Sejuani can get quick stuns off. I don't think it's going to win him skirmishes though. It's going to win them picks early, but it won't win them the
Yeah.
team fight.
Yeah, and we see very similar drafts to last game, I'd say. Top lane probably just going to be an island, Cassante into Gnar, very both chilling in lane, Kassadin and Azir scaling in mid lane, just like last game with the Cinder and the Azir. And the bot lanes are exactly the same. Looks like Nongshim going for a bit more early jungler again, choosing to opt for the Monkey King instead of the Lee Sin this game. Sejuani a bit more tanky than the Maokai, I'd say, and opening up some more pick potential and maybe a bit more easy engages for team fights.
I mean, what's nice to see about these comps is both teams are just going to slam into each other. It's going to be quite a brawl we're going to see here, as both teams just want to play forward. So with these objectives and stuff, there's no longer going to be that prep time that DRX need, which is possibly what lost them the last game. So we could potentially see a DRX turnaround. But what are you predicting this match? Are you predicting DRX or Nongshim?
I think Nongshim's got a really solid draft together, and the way they were playing together as a team last game, opposed to DRX, kind of looks like they were lacking communication and getting picked off. If they manage to improve on that, I think they've got a very solid chance, and that's what I'd like to see them do. I think I'm favoring Nongshim, also bringing in the momentum from a solid win last game. With of course Jiwo doing a lot of damage, and well, they're in the exact same matchup as last game, so they seem to be very comfortable in playing that one. I'm interested to see what Colmy can do on the Azir, but yeah, I'm favoring Nongshim, but I mean this game can go anyway, to be honest.
Absolutely. Potentially, Plisa can make a comeback in what was a good start to last game, but unfortunately wasn't able to follow up because the team just was not fed enough to be able to get those team fights that Zeri wanted. Was not able to extend long enough. Hopefully this is a change of pace, and with the now, I would say Castin is a much tankier alternative to Azir. Potentially they will just be able to live longer fights, which is what we need to see for DRX.
Yeah, that's what we like to see. Get the Zeri to be able to hit some frontline. And now we see both the junglers going to opposite sides of the map. Look like the Wukong wants to play towards the Kasante, while the Sedge wants to cover for her bot lane. Do you think Wukong and Kasante have the ability to kill Gnar?
Absolutely. Gnar is very squishy early on, in the sense that if he gets within melee range, usually Cassante will win the trades. But the thing at this level is, can we expect Clear to be able to Kai Mihi? Absolutely. So as long as he plays safe enough to just be able to get the poke off, Wukong won't be able to step up here.
Yeah. Yeah, in the mid lane, like I predicted, we see Azir pushing into the Kassadin, who's already half HP. Mihill going for a deep board, and we'll see that the Sejuani is pathing towards bot side. We see the Sivir and Yumi getting pushed in this time, probably allowing to be pushed in, of course, because they also leash the jungler. which make sure they're late in lane. Um, yeah, late game. Late game, I think it all depends on execution. If this caster manages to pop off and maybe one shot either the Sivir or the Azir, it's looking very good for DRX. But otherwise, I favor Nongshim's team fight.
Absolutely. I mean, everything could change by Sejuani Ebola. We're just gonna have to see. Um, who gets picked off is going to be very difficult with the Wukong clone, Kasante's W just blocking all CCs because that is balanced. Sivir's E shield is looking rough to be able to get the picks, but I mean we'll have to see with the Nora engages.
Yeah, we see both junglers finish their full clears, finishing the Scuttle Crabs, as might look like we'll get a clash in the mid lane here. Sponge gets a ward on the Raptors, and he's looking for this Azir. Wukong is around. He's looking for a dive, actually. Call Me should just be able to glide over the wall. Will get hit by the Sedge Q. Sounda's here, and not much more will happen as everyone walks away.
Yeah, we see good pressure here from Sponge being able to get all the way into the back of mid lane to be able to get a wraparound, but unfortunately Sounder was just there, just ready for the counter gank. Looking for Raptors, but found a Sejuani.
Yeah, I think well played by DRX, forcing the Azir out of lane, which gives the Kassadin some more time to scale up some more favorable lane pressure. Although he is a bit screwed now, seeing as his wave is slow pushing into the Azir, who is full HP. I'd like to see Setup just base TP back. Well, it looks like he manages to push it in cleanly. 17 seconds until Ocean Dragon spawns, and not much has happened.
No, they are playing it very slow. As said, both teams are kind of going for that team fight orientated game. So this is something we're gonna have to wait for mid. But Sounder is just sneaking in a Drake.
That's so smart, because you see DRX have the scuttle vision, and Sounder just W's over the wall. Oh, will Piero spot him? The vision plant goes wide, and he... Oh,
no way!
Wow.
Piero! Oh, that is such a blunder on DRX's end. Not being able to get that vision for Drake just means Sounder is going to be able to sneak this in with HH.
Wow,
that is going to be very embarrassing when the Drake feed comes up.
And they just take it. Setup's still clearing the control ward. Looks like Sounda's going in on him. Also, Q will not be enough as they just walk away. But this is very good for Nongshim. Getting an early Drake as early as 5 minutes and 30 seconds will, of course, force DRX, the team fight, later into the game when Kassadin might not be 16 yet. Meanwhile, Jiwoo is just chilling in bot lane clearing waves.
I think it's safe to say both teams want a Drake stack. Both teams are looking for it. Maybe Nongshim can alternate to Rift Herald if they start getting towers down. But it's just, this is such a good lead for Nongshim again.
Yeah, very solid. Of course, the gold difference is nihil. It doesn't exist. It's the exact same. But getting this Drake for Nongshim is really good. As you see, Mihil getting a hit on the tower with the demolish. And very well played, as the Gnar ult does not knock him back because of the W. Such an interesting mechanic.
Very interesting, yeah, that is one way to put it.
As Sound as punch me in the jungle, but not much is going to happen. It's a very, very slow game, which I understand why, of course. Both teams are looking to scale, going to the team fights. As Call Me might be called out by Sponge here. Will just sliding glide away. The Q hits, and it will not be enough. It looks like Setup wants none of this business. He is, of course, half HP. If he does ult in and gets ult back by the Azir, he will just get absolutely a one-shot. And, of course, they don't know where Sounder is at the moment. Good trade, but, again, not much happening.
Yeah, it's always rough for casting in lane, especially into a lane bully and control mage such as Azir. Not being able to step up because the soldiers are just zoning off all the farm. It's gonna be really rough to actually get that level 16 with the laning phase that has started. So unless Sejuani can change the pace of mid lane and start to speed up the tempo, it will be difficult. We're looking at a long late game here,
Yeah.
for
Yeah, look at
DRX
this.
to
Is
win.
this? Do you think this is Jiu and HH walking up towards the Herald?
It could be, although if they were, I would see them pushing in mid-wave, and that would just give them the
Yeah,
vision
right.
for Pleater to be able to shove.
That looks
But
like they're just going to go back
yeah,
into bot lane. And
they're looking
Peter
for a
goes in,
fight
pops the
here.
ultimate, as well as Jiwoo, so Jiwoo's just gonna run away. Very short trade, and this, well, this gives Sounder the opportunity to just get a free Herald.
Yeah, we see ult for ult with also a ghost popped by
Look
Pleater,
at
so
this. They might look
all
to
in.
dive, but a very good roam by Call Me, which makes sure she covers for that dive there. And Sibber just absolutely one-shots the wave. And meanwhile, Nongshim are getting a free Herald. Chiba will face check Sponge here. Auto attacks, trades a quick stun, but not much more will happen. I expect him to give up the next wave, while Kassadin's roaming down as well. Soundness sprinting towards the bot lane. I think they see the... Yeah, look at the river vision. They see the Sejuani walking away now, so they walk back up. And this is 2 plates towards Zeri in trade for Rift Herald, which, to be honest, I think Nongshim take that.
I think again another win for Nongshim here. Just winning in the macro. Sejuani does not need to be farming here necessarily. Just, whilst Wukong is taking these drakes, but at the same time, Wukong just has that skirmish potential. He's so scary compared to the Sejuani, being able to ult twice, the Conqueror stacks, the extended fights that you'll see with junglers. I don't think Custin is able to roam for these, and especially not Nar here either, as he's getting pushed in constantly by the Cassante.
Yeah, once again, we see clear counterpicking into the Cassante, but again, he's being pushed in as Nar, which is never something you like to see. Is there even a good answer into the Cassante? I'm starting to wonder.
There are, but simply enough, it's not what DRX want, and I think the Cassante is just bringing too much pressure, because they need to be getting these skirmishes off, and they need to be able to at least give pressure for the Rift Herald, but there isn't. They're playing for the long mid to late game team fights, and this is just really biting them here. They're not getting, well, they're just laying Nongshim snowball, to put it simply.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Longship just have the both pushing solo lanes. The Sponge might look a play for in the mid lane on Call Me now. As we see Sauna and the Yuumi are close by, and the Shurima shuffle absolutely whiffs. And everyone walks away once again, and we're 10 minutes in without a kill. Sauna does pop the Herald here, funneling some gold into this Azir, who looks like he won't be able to get it actually. Gold
So many times where someone could have been picked off and snowballed the game here, but it's just not happened. Everyone's
like
walked away prematurely. Yeah, DRX is scared. Nongshim is playing with pressure. The Wukong is everywhere and anywhere, which is really just spooking everyone right now. Sounder is playing the game of it, or the best of 3 of his life so far.
Yeah, he's playing really well. I agree. But I agree with you as well, saying that DRX, it looks like they're too scared to force anything. Which on the one hand I understand, because they if they throw now, their scaling is going to be really rough. But I'd like to see the Sejuani ult being used at least once this game. SGU just catches another wave, as we see the Mountain Dragon is alive. Would be a perfect time to take it now, as Kassadin got pushed for once, and the bot lane pushed out as well. Sounder is around. Will he look to contest? Setup trying to poke out Call Me, but takes more damage in response. Call Me walking up together with the Wukong. Drake half HP. I think we're getting a big fight here. Yuumi together with the Wukong. I'll look for the Wukong to engage. Setup poked down, has to ult over the wall together with his team. I see Sounder going in. The ult popped. Sponge takes Dragon, pops the ult on the Wukong clone. Plita jumps in, throws the W out. Setup keeps fighting forward. The flash forward with the ult from Piero, as Jiwoo looks like he'll go down. Kill for Setup. And that is very, very good for DRX.
There we have it. We have the team fight turn by DRX, and they're just able to win the Smite fight. Congratulations to Sponge. But yeah,
fantastic
that was
play.
a great pick and great follow-up by the rest of the team there.
Yeah, a very traditional barrel play from Piero here. He flashed forward on the Lulu and ulted himself, bringing in that knockup. Jiwoo was not able to survive. The healing from the Yumi was not enough. And yeah, DRX are fighting back in this game. Now a 100 gold ahead, as well as a break on either side. And a kill towards Castin. As we have a look at the replay, we see Sauna engages his fight on Sponge, then W's out, which tags the Sejuani ult as Plita dashes over the wall to keep this fight going. And here, look at Piero. Flash ults himself, the Jiwoo gets knocked up, and then Setup just autos him to kill him off. The rest of the team gets out, but a very nice trade for DRX.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be very curious to see how these long-term team fights end up, because Castin is going to be a threat, a big threat at that, and no Shurima Shuffle is going to be able to lock him down, which is going to be very difficult for the Rod of Ages Castin to be dealt with for Nongshim. So it's looking good. He's a kill up, and it's looking promising for DRX, finally.
Yeah, call me going for Rod of Ages again on the Azir. I'm not sure I like it again, but maybe Colmy just really enjoys building this item as Sponge tries to find him. But I can't imagine he extends this as the ETH gets thrown out and Colmy just walks away.
Yeah, the damage is very minimal on the Sejuani right now. Just not being able to get those early lane ganks that Sejuani is notorious for, and those easy skirmishes because of the Castin and Naj having to lose prio in their lanes. Yeah. So how Sejuani is able to be applied later on, I think is very obvious. She gets those bowler picks and she provides the peel for a team. But is she able to provide pressure herself in a duel? Absolutely not right now. So here we have Wukong secure the Rift once again.
Yeah, I'd like to see him use this in the mid lane, open up the map. Maybe get Azir out in the side lane where he's going right now. Yeah, I think it's a very tight game. It can go any way, and Nongshim still looking very strong. The top laners, not doing much, but will be a massive threat once we get into the team fight. Lulu completing her anti-heal item here, which I like building into this Yumi. As Colmy might get caught out here, Sponge dashed in, the ult from Setup, he will Shurima Shuffle and dash away. This guy does not want to die.
This guy has pretty much pressed the get out of jail button 3 times, I think, so far. Twice in mid lane, once just now in the bot lane. The Azir pick is strong, but it's not how it's expected to be played by Colmy. It's just free. It's securing him the free farm he needs. Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the Herald in the mid lane. I really like to see this. Cassante might look for a flank completer here. They spot him out in time. Wow, did you see that? He dashed towards the Herald and queued.
That was pretty nasty actually by the Cassante, but was not able to land the knock-up, unfortunately.
Yeah, we see Sauna might look to contest this scuttle, but C-Tab, of course, with that 1 kill in this game, is quite strong. Chemtech Drake coming up in 50 seconds, as we also see the Chemtech map for one of the first times in pro play, because, of course, this was something added in preseason as well, which is Chemtech Soul changes the map to increase all the plants like Scribe's Bloom and the exploding plants and stuff to be better, I guess. So the Scribe's Bloom has way more range and puts all wards to 1 HP. The exploding plants shoot you way further, which honestly I think this is a great change, and it's a really fun map to play. So
I think it's really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how these players use it.
Definitely, for sure.
Oh, look at that! Sponge dashes right over the wall as Sounder eases in, and the final chapter is called, but not much will happen as both junglers walk away. Dragon is up. Sounder will start it up together with Colmy here. They should be able to shred it down, or they might choose not to. As Colmy gets caught out here, will he survive this time? Setup ults in. Colmy dashes out again, and Sounder together with the Yumi looks like he will go out. Will Yumi dash over the wall? Yes, she gets out just in time. As Michiel is here as well, will Nongshim look to continue this fight 4v5? Call Me stepping up further. Michiel walking up. Pleater getting poked down as the dragon goes down. Michiel dashes in. Setup gets absolutely one-shot by the Cassante.
Insane damage by the Cassante.
Look at this,
What
they're
is that?
chasing. Michiel's still going. Will he land the knock-up? And yes, he does not. As Jiwoo, look at the damage Jiwoo is doing. Flashes away from the Gnar all beautifully. Call Me dashes in. And Jiwoo doing loads of damage in this team.
What a turn!
As he auto-attacks, kills the Lulu, and Sejuani is in no man's land and probably will go down to this Cassante. What a fantastic fight by Nongshim.
Again, this Cassante is just making DRX run. In fact, sprint for their money here. Because it is just providing so much pressure. Last game, it was the split, and then straight to the team fights, and absolutely...
He might look to... Oh, and a bit of spectator bug there, but the Azir will probably just get out, as the Wukong is here to help. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what a fantastic fight. Silver dealing 4,000 damage in one fight, and immensely played by Michiel. Wow, what a fight by
the damage is sleeper right now.
Here we go again, have a look at it again. As the Sponge goes into the Azir, the Lulu ult goes down on the Sejuani. Call Me will be able to run away. Soundnet does end up dying, and Yuumi just gets over the wall. And here is the Cassante, and he calls, well, let's just go and fight this thing. Castin hovering over the wall as he dashes in all on his own and gets absolutely one-shot by the Cassante. The Sivir ult is called, as well as the Ghost, which gives her so much movement speed as Sponge looks to go back in. Look at this Gnar. He dashes in, looks like, and oh, it's so well played. Jiwoo flashes away while Michiel presses the W to make sure he doesn't get knocked into the wall. The amount of movement speed Jiwoo still has to chase down the Lulu. It's a fantastic fight by Nongshim, and they're looking really, really strong for the second game.
Yeah, again, I keep saying it, and I'll say it one more time. Sivir, Yuumi, the movement speed to be able to kite and sustain in long fights like that is disgusting, and it's showing here as Yuumi is strapped to Wukong right now. Will it be able to get a pick on Lulu here? We're not sure, but it's definitely getting them the vision control they need for maybe a possible Baron execute.
Oh, Yuumi just about makes it over the wall. Yeah, to be fair though, I like what DRX have been doing. Last game we saw them being caught out a lot, which has not happened as much. As I say, Call Me gets hit by the Glacial Fissure, will be able to flash away, still has the Emperor's Divide up. Soundnet goes in with the ult, the Lulu ult onto the Zeri, but she dies? Yes. As we see the Wukong fall as well, Michiel pops the ultimate, will do loads of damage now, and it's a 1-for-1 trade, trading the jungler for the ADC, which again favors Nongshim. Jiwoo looks to keep it going as Michiel lands the Q, might W in, and Sejuani dies down the bottom side of the fight, and Kassadin dies as well to this Cassante. And it's an absolute stomp.
Yeah, it is just insane what this Rod of Ages is doing for this Azir as well. Like, he got strapped with a Sejuani bowler and some follow-up damage, and literally didn't even chunk him to half HP. It is actually so underrated and blown my expectation away, as it might be yours.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we see Nongshim get the Baron here, and they're looking comfortable to take the second win as well, as long as they play this out cleanly. Yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic fight, although there isn't a jungler here, and Lulu might look to steal it away. Here comes Sounda, who will be able to smite it away. Baron over to Nongshim. We see Clear pushing in the mid lane, needs getting some pressure down. But again, looking at the replay, Sponge engages the fight. Good ult onto Call Me, flashes away, but look, he's not taking any damage as Sounda goes onto the Zeri, who almost gets one shot as the Cassante comes here, turns the fight around. The Wukong dies, Yuumi jumps onto the Azir, and they're dealing so much damage as this Sivir is just flanking, presses the ult, runs in, and there's nowhere they can go. Spines gets absolutely one shot by the damage Sivir is dealing. Michiel on the top side, and the flash just wasn't enough from the Kassadin. Flashes right into the Cassante Q and gets taken down. Yeah, Cassante is looking absolutely disgusting in these two games.
I think the funniest part about Cassante's choice of runes here is the Ghost. He is not afraid. He just wants to run in there, and he knows he can. Like the 3-0 and 4 beast
100% KP
of a champ right now. Yeah. Disgusting. But also just is blowing my mind away.
Yeah, really,
How
really well
much?
played by Mihil. He clearly knows how to play his champion. Absolutely mastered it.
Yeah.
Camtech Drake come up in 5 seconds, which will be Nongshim's second. Mihil pushing down bot, trying to get this tower with the Baron. As Cormy gets caught out again, will he die this time? Surely no, he dashes over the wall.
Not
Shurima
even to
Shuffle does
half
nothing.
HP. What is
What?
going on with the Rod of Ages right there?
Cormy's 303, perfect game, and he's been caught out quite a couple of times, but just doesn't die. Really well played by him.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see. We've got very bursty champions here. We've got the Kassadin, we've got the Sejuani, but it's just not enough on the Rod of Ages is here. That is to note, he also does have some MR items he is building, but it just still surprises me how little damage it's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, let's look over to DRX. How can they win this game? Kassadin, 15. Surely almost able to take over to 16. Which is, of course, a massive, massive power spike for this champion. Zeri, 2 items, almost a full item behind the Sivir. Piero, you know, being the Lulu, he will help out with the team fights, but he won't do as much as you'd hope. And definitely not as much as the Yuumi does right now. Sejuani, yeah, she's tanky, but you saw last fight, she got absolutely melted by the Sivir.
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah.
it's all up to setup to get this level 16 and pop off in team fights, and you know, maybe take this game into his own hands.
I also have to say, I don't think the Chemcheck Putrefy is the right choice for Lulu. I don't think it's what the team needs either. I think like taking something like that so early on, that once the healing has been nerfed so hard since last season, and 2, Zeri just needs more shield, more heal, and more attack speed, and that is not what is given. So
Yeah, completely fair. Yeah, yeah. As we see Nongshim battling down the mid lane, taking over the top side jungle. Kassadin still level 15. Yeah, really waiting for him to hit that level 16 power spike. Almost. Oh, he's got 2.5 items, half an item down on the Azir. He's got a 9-stack Dark Seal as well. He'll be hitting like an absolute truck. The Azir turret down in the mid lane. We see Nongshim going down top. Baron's run out, so they won't be able to get this one. But you know, it's pressure all over the map, and the DRX are kind of just bleeding everywhere.
one thing to note is Kassadin is 1 level away to greatness
Yeah,
before he becomes an absolute monster in the game. So will he be able to do this? We're really gonna have to see,
there
because
it is.
4 kills down, he's level 16. Is it gonna be enough to counter the 4-kill deficit that they are facing right now?
Yeah, look at setup going towards the top lane. Sounder might be caught out here. He's going in actually. He W's out. The Lulu all instantly popped on the Kassadin, which might be a bit premature, but
So early, which is not what we need to see. We need to be seeing some really assertive plays here by DRX before Nongshim can actually adjust. But we're not seeing that. They're being able to leave almost every combat situation they don't want to play.
yeah, I agree. It just looks like Nongshim's on the same page and DRX just really isn't, which is a shame to see. But of course, it's only the first game of the season. They've got more than enough time to you know, get everything back together, and you know, everyone's still got a chance to win LCK Challengers 2023, of course. But
Absolutely.
looking at this game, Zeri just hit her 3rd item. That's very, very good. Nar probably more tanky than Sejuani at this point if he does manage to hit that mega. Sounda and HH running into the jungle. Very, very strong combo with the Yuumi and the Wukong right now. Mihil got the knock up ready, but won't be able to use it on anyone. Yeah, I like what Nongshim's doing, just getting into the backline, securing as we see Sounda engaging a fight. And look at this Sejuani getting absolutely
Look at the aggression. Look at the moves. It's absolutely just so assertive by Sounder. He just knows where he wants to go, and that Yuumi is just giving him confidence fuel to just walk in and just decimate. And he does. The Sejuani kill is going to be
look at Setup, he's
amazing.
getting caught out, although he might be able to just ult over the wall. Will be able to get out, but if this Kassadin dies, the game is over.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely right. And that's Plita is able to do what Plita does and just absolutely sweep the map in a team fight, it's looking rough once again as Nimsho take Baron here.
Yeah, free Baron for Nongshim. Drake coming up in 30 seconds. I'm sure they'll be able to take that one too. Nar pushing down bot lane, to be honest. He's got very, very good CS. 312 CS at 28 minutes is very impressive. This Nar is quite strong, but will he be able to survive this damage from the Sivir and the Azir? I'm not too sure. Nongshim going down the mid lane. I'm sure they'll push out one more wave before rotating into the river. Sponge gets this. Scott's also secure at least a bit of vision. How do you want DRX to play this fight?
DRX have to get a pick, and they have to let Zeri get the lethal tempo stacks that she needs to be able to be an absolute threat. But Sivir will just out DPS.
We're gonna Drake. He's very deep. Flashes in with the ult, the Lulu ult onto the Gnar for whatever reason. As we see Xante dashing in, the Gnar gets one shot. The Sejuani gets one shot. The Shreema Shuffle gets rid of the Kassadin. Will be able to do something. Look at the damage on Plita as Michiel dashes into Setup. And Setup, everyone's getting quite low. Setup going in. Oh no, the stopwatch is gonna be his doom, isn't it? As he gets absolutely one shot by the Azir. Plita and Piero still up as the Sivir kills the Zeri. Yuumi and Sivir chasing down, and behind behind the Lulu is a monkey, and this game is all done and dusted.
Nongshim is closing the book here, and it is just such a, to be honest, unexpected win, unexpected stomp.
Very convincing, very convincing.
So assertive. Like Sounder has been playing, just absolutely controlling the jungle. He is king of the jungle right now.
Nongshim looked really good as they take the second game and win the series against DRX.
Well played by Nongshim. Absolutely deserved in how they've executed this these team fights.
Yeah, fantastic play. Can't wait to see what Nongshim do next in their game on Thursday. And hopefully DRX are able to bounce back, learn from these games, and of course, both these teams have fantastic players, and we can't wait to see what they do in their next games. Great game by Nongshim. Congrats on winning the series.